Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We've got a good one today. So, have you ever watched someone eat the exact same way you do and they drop weight, have perfect digestion, tons of energy, and yet you're sitting there like, why am I bloated, tired, and gaining weight from air? Like I've been there on the air thing. Today, I want to explain something most people never hear. Your microbiome actually has a personality and it can absolutely be working for you or opposite, quietly working against you. Now, I want you to picture your gut like a tiny city. You've got thousands of different residents living there. Some are helpful, some are neutral, and some are basically the neighbors that look fine on the outside, but they kind of cause chaos on behind the scenes. You know who I'm talking about. And the wild part is the population of your city isn't the same as your friends. So the same food can create a totally different experience in each body. Like, for example, one person eats broccoli and feels amazing. Another person eats broccoli and looks 6 months pregnant within a few minutes. Or one person does a high protein diet and feels energized and lean, and then another gets constipated, inflamed, and moody. That isn't because one of you has more willpower, it's because you have a different microbes interpreting that food differently. So, when I say your microbiome has a personality, I mean it actually has patterns. Some guts are more resilient, they're diverse, they're stable, they're calm, they can handle travel, they can handle stress, they can handle a weekend of eating out, and they bounce back quickly. And then other people's guts are more reactive, they're fragile, they're easily thrown off, and the wrong foods or stress can create a domino effect. And some guts are more opportunistic, like they're always looking for ways to take over. Now, let's talk about something called Keystone species. You want to think of these as your gut's leadership team. They help keep the order. They support the gut lining, they keep inflammation down, they help you break down food, and they also keep the less friendly bugs from running the show. Keystone bacteria are literally like the people in the city who handle sanitation, roads, and security. When they're doing their job, things run smoothly. When they're missing or they're low, that's when the city starts getting messy. So if you feel like you're eating well, you're taking supplements, you're doing all the right things, but you're still dealing with bloating, mood swings, sugar cravings, stubborn weight, skin issues, or you get knocked down hard after a round of antibiotics or stress, start thinking, do we have enough of the good leaders to keep balance? Now, let's talk about the opportunistic bacteria. These are not always bad. A lot of them exist in small amounts in healthy people. The issue is not that they exist, the issue is that when they grow too high, they're basically the microbes that take advantage when your gut is weakened. You want kind of like when a town loses its police force and suddenly you have a bunch of people doing pretty much whatever they want. So, an opportunistic overgrowth can do a few things. It can create gas and bloating. It can irritate the gut lining and create and increase overall inflammation. It can mess with your immune system. It can change how you tolerate foods. And yes, it can influence cravings and weight. So that's why someone could be doing all the right things but feel worse when they add in probiotics, fiber, fermented foods, or even what's deemed as healthy carbs. It's because their current gut environment isn't set up to handle those things. Now, I want to bring up a one nerdy sounding concept in a simple way. So, the Firmicutes to Bacteroidetes ratio. You do not need to remember these names. Like, don't even try. I can barely even pronounce it. Just think of it like a metabolism thermostat that can get dialed up or down depending on what's happening in the gut. Firmicutes are a big group of bacteria that are very good at extracting energy from food. That's not always a problem. But when the Firmicutes side gets too dominant compared to Bacteroidetes, some people can become more prone to weight loss resistance, inflammation, blood sugar swings, feeling like they gain weight easily, even when they're really not eating that much food or calories. This is where I hear women say, I barely eat and I'm still gaining weight. Sometimes it's not that you're doing something wrong, it's that your gut is getting way too efficient at pulling calories out of what you eat. And the inflammation piece keeps your body in store mode rather than burn mode. And I'll say this clearly, the ratio is not the only thing that matters. It's just one tiny piece of the puzzle. But it can be a clue when someone is doing everything right and yet they still can't move the needle. So here's the big takeaway. Food is information, but your microbes decide what to do with that information. One person eats carbs and their gut turns into a short-chain fatty acids that reduce inflammation, support the gut lining, and stabilize mood. Another person eats carbs and their gut turns it into gas, bloating, brain fog, and cravings because the wrong microbes are overgrown or the right microbes are actually missing. So one person eats dairy and it's fine. Another person eats dairy and it triggers inflammation because their gut lining is irritated and the immune system is already on high alert. One person eats high fiber and feels amazing. Another person adds fiber and becomes miserable because they have SIBO, poor motility, low stomach acid, or fermentation that's happening in the wrong place. You get where I'm going here. It's just a lot of different connections. And if you've been feeling frustrated, confused, or like your body's betraying you, I just want you to hear this. It might not be your willpower. It might not be that you're broken. You might simply be trying to use the right tools at the wrong time for your microbiome. So, what can you do with this information? Number one, the most important thing, stop copying someone else's diet like it's a template for your body. Your friend's gut personality is not your gut personality. Number two, pay attention to patterns. If you consistently react to the same category of foods, like for example, you always bloat after raw vegetables, or you always feel heavy after fats, or your cravings go crazy after certain carbs, those patterns are actually data. And number three, think foundations before extremes. A lot of women jump into aggressive cleanses, tons of probiotics, or very restrictive diets. Sometimes the gut needs the basics first. Digestion support, motility support, and reducing inflammation triggers before you go hard. And number four, consider testing if you feel like you've hit a wall. I'm a big believer that guessing gets expensive financially and emotionally. When you actually see what your gut CD looks like, you can stop throwing random supplements at it and start making targeted moves. So, if this helped you feel like you were seen, comment gut, and I'll send you a few signs to look at for that can help you identify your gut personality. And if you're tired of guessing and you want a personalized roadmap, send me a message and we'll talk about what testing and a root cause plan could look like for you. Until next time.